Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balance. Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome, you're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Rumble, Podchaser, Streaker, and more. And man, I'm just so grateful this morning for having this show, continuing to broadcast open happiness. That's why we don't talk about gossip or scandal or K-words, no Kanye talk, formerly or now. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. And if you've missed any of my 1,226 podcast shows, but who's counting, just resubscribe on my YouTube channel and you can get lots of interesting people. Marion Ross, one of my favorite guests, Fran Drescher, not talking about the nanny or about SAG, but how to reduce your risk of cancer, because this is a show that offers solution to the things that are keeping you from being happy. And I'm delighted that I also added co-hosts to the mix. About a year ago, I think I realized that going from once a week to every single working day was a little more work than I was wanting to do. And I've just been so fortunate to have co-hosts like the one that you see today. Dr. Tiffany Tate is a U.S. Navy veteran, published author, retired OBGYN from Compton, California. She's a playwright, singer, poet, songwriter, and more. She's the published author of several books, including an important children's book called Bad Touching, and her newest, coming out soon, book is teaching kids about money. So please welcome back to my studio, my favorite Wednesday co-host for Doctors in the House with Dr. Marissa and
Dr. Tiffany Tate.
Welcome, darling.
Always a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
It is. She looks like an angel, I was telling her in the green room this morning. So that just means that I get to be a devil. Anyways, we're going to start with breakfast. And breakfast is taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich. Top of the bun, things that you like about the world around you outside of yourself. And the bottom of the bun is what you like about yourself, internal gratitude, which I call appreciation, taking from one of my teachers, Abraham Hicks, because if you start your day in the most positive way, you will feel better as well as attract really great things into your life. So, Dr. Tiffany, what are you grateful for this morning?
I am grateful that my new book, Money Matters, is now available for pre-order on Amazon as well as Barnes and Nobles, and it teaches children about saving and investment.
I do love to celebrate, as you can tell. Congratulations, Dr. Tiffany. It's amazing. I love Dr. Tiffany is my co-host because she's a perfect example of someone who had a little unplanned accident that led her to not be able to do what she went to school for. And instead of complaining about it, she pivoted and has embraced all other areas of her talent. So I'm grateful to have you as a co-host, Dr. Tiffany, every Wednesday here on my show. That's what I'm grateful for. Yeah, what else are you grateful for?
I am still grateful that we had a wonderful, fabulous birthday celebration. I'm still really enthralled and enjoying our birthday celebration. Someone was talking to me yesterday and said, Tiffany, I just absolutely loved your birthday celebration, and celebrating with you was such a blast. And I said, I still need to post the pictures, and just, I enjoyed everyone who came out and celebrated with me. So I'm still thankful for you, Dr. Marissa, out and celebrating with me, and I'm still enjoying that celebration. So I'm still thankful for you and everyone else who celebrated with me.
Aww. We got a finger on that one. Someone gave us not that finger, but this finger. Thanks so much for participating. I do see the eyeballs rolling in. If you would like to have your comments or questions put up on the screen, just identify, and if you're driving and listening on the AM 1050 FM 106.5 side, please do not text or write. But when you land somewhere, please do. Yes, I am grateful. We're still getting some love for our birthdays. I thought I was the only person that celebrated as long as I did for a Leo birthday. I have met my match. She outdoes me as far as celebrating birthday. She had a wonderful time out in Riverside, I think it was. And it was so fun. And we actually just got another like from our birthday, and you sang to me, which is how you became my co-host, by the way, at Kobe. So we'll give Kobe House some love. Kobe Restaurant they did an amazing job helping us celebrate with the band. Do you remember the name of that band? Give them some love. We'll have to find out. We danced up a storm. Dr. Tiffany helps me with my hashtag dancing queen shoes for sure. I'm grateful that, man, I woke up. This is the second morning in a row. I wake up pretty positive because I don't start the day with this most of the time, which is MS, meaningless scrolling. So I am usually naturally high, but these last couple of mornings, I have just thank you. Just realizing the depth of the gratitude that I feel for the life that I've been able to live thus far. So I am grateful for all the experiences, the travel in Europe and Asia, I don't know. It will definitely be way more than 8. So I'll stop right now. One more from you, Dr. Tiffany.
And I am grateful for my fabulous life, as you always say, because a lot of times we take for granted the simple blessings. And with all of the fires that are taking place now, I know that I said it before, but a lot of times you don't know what's going on, and you are like, okay, I can't believe that this is happening. But I constantly pray for those who are in the fire areas here in Southern California. And I've been where you are, and I have compassion for you and what you're going through, and for those who have to evacuate. So I am grateful that I still have my home, and I'm able to stay in my home at this time.
Beautiful. Yes. In every situation, I was just talking about this with someone yesterday. Whoever told us that life was going to be easy and a fairy tale, and that only bad things happen to bad people, or even rarely to good people, but it does happen, really sold us down the river, because life is full of experiences. Some of them are not happy making, but in every situation that you're in, you have the choice. Best case scenario, worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, you feel like shiitake. Best case scenario, there's hope. Hope is a beautiful way to just claim your birthright to happiness, no matter what the conditions are. And that's why we do this breakfast gratitude sandwich bite. Let's go to the bottom of the bun. The other way to stay happy is to focus on the things that you like about yourself. instead of get enough criticism from people around you, why would you want to criticize yourself on top of that? So, and most of the time, they're not even criticizing you. For Dr. Tiffany and I being in the public eye, in media, in front, we're going to get a little more of the great and the not so great. But everyone, there's so much to be thankful for about yourself. So don't be so hard on yourself. That's the bottom of the bun. Work out now. What do you like about yourself so you can go to bed tonight thinking about how great you are instead of I'm a piece of shiitake. You're not. Mm-hmm. So what do you like about yourself, Dr. Tiffany?
I like my ability to troubleshoot, because if there is a problem and we are in a pinch, I'm going to look at the situation, and some people see the glasses half empty. I'm going to say, okay, it's half full. And I'm going to say, let's figure it out and let's work through the problem and let's tackle it and let's get out of this pinch.
Awesome. Yes, I appreciate my ability to have always a glass 88% full, because even if it's always 100% full actually, because you've got water and then you've got air, so it's full of something. So I appreciate my ability to be resilient in my choice to focus on what's good. One more.
And I appreciate my ability to love, because no matter what, I'm going to show compassion and empathy and encouragement, even to my enemies, as painful as it is.
And I appreciate, I was going to talk to you about this after, but I think it's a good thing right now. I appreciate my ability to ask for what I want. And I know it may surprise y'all because you think I'm pretty strong, independent, powerful, all that, la, 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 on the outside. But when it comes to my personal life, I do have a tendency to, you go first, or what do you want? And all of that. And I had a chance several times through my dating. I've been dating, those of you who know, started January 18th, but who's counting? And I've had 18 first dates now. And I've been able to ask for what I want. And also, when someone invites me out for dinner, and this one you're going to love, because we have similar thoughts about that even though we both make money, when a guy asks you out for dinner, that's an invitation that I take seriously and that I appreciate for sure. And I was asked out for dinner, and the bill came, and he did not reach for it, and I did not reach for it. And finally, he said that he reached for it, and he said, "So how are we going to do this?" And I in the past, I would have said, "Do you want me to help with that?" And Dr. Tiffany would be so proud of me. I did not say that. I said, "Well, you invited me out for dinner." And he said, "No, I didn't." And I said, "Well, that was my understanding." And he said, "No, I asked what your favorite restaurant was." And I said, and I said, "Well, I would not have gone out with you. That's my norm. If you invite me for dinner, then I will go out with you. If you do not invite me out for dinner, I will not go out with you. That's just my choice, because it is, I love it when a man, if you say I'm beautiful and you say you want to spend time with me, then this is a one dinner investment." And so I said that, did not offer to pay. And he was not happy. And he's like, "Oh, and whatever, and okay, fine." And, and I, he goes, no. I said, well, I'm sorry, like, and then with the takeout, I said, do you want the rest of the food? I had one and he had two of the things left over. And I thought I was being magnanimous because I really liked the takeout, the leftovers. I love leftovers. And I gave him two and I took one. And I took the other one. I said, do you want this one too? And she's like, no. I was on the top of the mountain, but I've gotten down. And I said, yeah, you can't unring a mountain, though.
Yeah.
But I was so proud of myself for not acting on my own behalf. So that was huge for me. So
Okay.
there you go. How do you like them apples? That is the bottom of the bun for me, and that is a great example of appreciating something about myself that I've worked at now. Now, for those of you who think, oh my God, she expects men to pay for everything, and then no. But the first date, when you want to make a good impression, that is definitely the way to do it.
But you know what? It leads into our topic.
Yes, it does. Which is?
Not forcing things. Don't try to force a square peg into a round hole or force situations, friendships, relationships, business ships, any ships. So I think that was a good
segue to that. Let's finish
Absolutely.
off breakfast. I'm going to take a quick break for news and traffic. But thank you for joining us for breakfast with Dr. Marissa and
Dr. Tiffany Tate
on Doctors in the House, which is the Wednesday special series for my show. We'll be back in 2 and 2, as Chuck Woolery used to say. But it's peace in, peace out. We'll be right back. Don't go away for Doctors in the House.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, home to the Asian Oprah, and streaming everywhere, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and of course, my YouTube TV channel that houses all 1,227 podcast shows over the last 645 consecutive weeks. You are watching Doctors in the House with Dr. Marissa and
Dr. Tiffany Tate.
My very popular Wednesday series. And the topic today is
forcing. Are you trying to force a situation, a relationship, a friendship, a business relationship?
Yes. The forcing and the pushing. So first half of the show, I like to keep it real, give examples of things that I'm pushing or that I hear people are pushing through my coaching practice, my travels, and then Dr. Tiffany will surely bring up some research as she does per usual on the topic. So if you are relating to any of the ideas that are coming up, please do use the Cashew Gallery chat, and we'll love to put your comments on the screen. So I was forced. I am totally guilty of forcing because I'm a recovering control freak. And I like to have things exactly the way I like them in the timing that I like them. And I have very strong BS belief systems. And I just changed one that is also something I appreciate about myself is when people cancel on me, when people, things don't go according to plans. I was taking it really personal. and saying, you know, you don't respect my time or not a good thing. And I realized that, especially on this coast, it really isn't personal, but that's not the biggest learning. Mine is don't force myself into situations or meetings or whatever it is. If it's not working, there's a reason for it. And even a busy signal on a telephone, instead of getting all like mad and continuing to call and call and call and call and get madder and madder and madder, I just say that's not the right time. So I've done that. I've done really well on that. But now this is like a way bigger thing. And I'm practicing canceling shiitake myself. So if I'm not feeling up to it, I never used to cancel, thinking that I don't want to break my word.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, it's like, it's okay. So I'm not forcing myself, and I'm trying not to force you to conform to what I want.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's easy to want people to do what you want them to do because it makes it easy to want to control other people.
Well, you think you know best. It's not from ill intention.
Mhm.
Kids, right? You want the best for your kids. So you would like them to blankety, blankety, blank, right?
Yeah, but it's not just your kids. You want your children to do certain things. You want your friends to do certain things. You want your partner, your mate to do certain things. And even in business,
Insignificant
you
other.
want, you want your business partners to do certain things. You want everybody to do what's right. But what's right is not always right in their mind. What's right in your mind is just that, your mind. And you can't control other people. So you can't always force that square peg into that round hole, unless that round hole is ginormous. Joke. Okay. So, but when you try to,
My head's going in a different direction, but we're not going there. It's not Friday yet. It's not
yeah,
Friday
no,
yet.
not Friday yet. There's sexual innuendos here. And so, but if you guys remember that toy that you had as a kid, when you would put the shapes into the different holes, when you try to force something into a hole that it doesn't fit, you kind of end up jamming something there, and you end up frustrated. And that's the same thing that happens in life. And you end up with stress, and you end up with anxiety, and you end up in this with the cycle. And so you have to sit back and say, okay, what am I doing wrong? And all you end up doing is frustrating yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like to replace wrong with useful and not useful. But I do absolutely agree with that point you made earlier, that we think it's the useful thing to do. We really believe that. But for that person, it may not be, which is why, the advice that we give us on this show, let's just do a disclaimer here. I'm a PhD doctor. Dr. Tiffany is an MD doctor. We are not licensed psychologists. So the advice that we're giving here is from our experience, but we do have experience in coaching as well. So I just, every once in a while, I have to do that disclaimer. But I'm grateful that there are a lot of people who appreciate our 8 cents worth and are happier as a result of taking some of that advice that I don't always use according to the title. So absolutely, I'm gonna go to the relationship side specifically right now, because this is one of the most common things I see in relationships, as far as trying to jam that triangle into the circle hole. And that is, most of the time, it's women who do this. They are attracted to potential, and they know that they want to travel. If they know that that is so important to them, they know they want to have children, and they know that that is so important to them. They know, they hate smoke. You know, they hate cigar smoking, cigarette smoking. And it's just amazing to me that I would say a good 80% of the women that come who are frustrated in their relationships follow what Dan Miguel Ruiz, beautiful man, friend, and mega best-selling author of The Four Agreements, in his book Mastery of Love, says, if you want a dog, don't buy a cat. But we do. Like, what is it? Not all women, but many women will, I don't want a jerk, right? But who's the first person that you are attracted to in a room full of men is the guy that has "I'm a jerk" on his t-shirt, right? So that's on us, right? Why would someone do that, Dr. Tiffany? Why do many women do that?
A lot of times they are attracted to pathology because of the way in which they were raised. Basically, they have a history of issues from when they were growing up, and they tend to repeat that cycle. And until they address those issues, be it through talking to a therapist. And what's amazing is that I have a close friend who I talk to repeatedly, and he has a therapist and I have a therapist, and we joke and say a therapist is just a very good friend who you can talk to and tell your secrets to. They just get paid to listen. So they're just an honest friend. So whether you have a therapist or a good, honest friend, you really need someone who you can talk to and confide in, and they can be honest and true to you, to talk to you. And so basically, if you have someone you can talk to and they can be honest with you and help you through your pathology, that would be good. So I think a lot of people can deal with and talk to a therapist, and that will help you, because a lot of times they may not have had the love that they needed when they were growing up, whether they had a lot of critical issues, or they were talked to critically, or they did not receive the appropriate love, be it from their mother or from their father. They may have maternal issues or father issues, and that in turn gets bored into their relationships. And so they have that pathology repeatedly growing up, and they're constantly looking for love, essentially in all the wrong places.
Yeah, absolutely. You're getting a hello from Vanessa Johns. Is this Vanessa Johns that I know? No, different Vanessa. Sorry. It's one of your Vanessa Johns.
Yes.
Welcome to the show, Vanessa. And absolutely, we're talking about forcing things, forcing triangles through square pegs. Actually, that might work, but any type of forcing. I'm specifically right now talking about relationships, because I think this is one of the areas that many people try to force relationships that really are not a match. And absolutely, having some work for the 7 out of 10 of us who've gone through childhood trauma. The phenomena, I call it, is going to the tractor for milk. So tractors don't give milk, obviously. It's my version of going to the hardware store to buy bread, but trying to get something. Usually, I know it happened in my case. I did not get unconditional love or anything close to that as a child. And so, not surprisingly, I chose a guy who was emotionally unavailable. I had a friend say, when did you know that he was emotionally unavailable? I said, oh, way before we got married. And then she looked at me and smiled and said, so then who's really emotionally unavailable? And I went, ouch, but it's true. I did not feel worthy of someone who would love me close. No one is able to love unconditionally, only dogs. But as close to what I wanted, what I was missing, I was familiar with being ridiculed, with being introduced as obese to people behind my back when I was this size. I was used to being told that I wasn't funny as a way of, making me feel small. I was used to not be desired and turned down at every initiation of intimacy because I really didn't feel worthy of that. And it wasn't until, and I'm still working on it. I'm still working on this level of personal worthiness so that I can have a healthy, intimate relationship. So, that's one of the reasons I think we do it. We do it because we don't feel good enough. So the solution to that is doing the work to feel good enough. Absolutely. Me. Okay. We gotcha.
And it's crazy because to a certain level, it's normal from what I've learned in my research. There is a certain level of disconnection in relationships that is normal, but then there is also a level that's pathologic, and you have to look for the interconnection of what's good and what's not good. And then you have to look within yourself to find what that level is, because you know what your trauma is. No one else knows what that trauma is. I know because I had to deal with that same thing growing up, because when I was raised by my mom, who had issues with drug addiction, but I was also raised by my mom T. My mom T showed me a lot of love, but when I was with my mom, when she was under the influence, she was also verbally abusive. So I had that issue, but I also had the love. So I know what love looks like, but I was also willing to accept abuse. So in my marriage, I was willing to accept verbal abuse. So the emotional abuse that I endured, I thought it was normal. So I lived with that until I couldn't take it anymore. So a lot of times you normalize things that shouldn't be normalized until other people tell you it's not okay. And then you have to know what your cutoff is. And only you know when to say when.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think that it is also the choice and the time and the effort to do that work on ourselves, to understand why we don't feel worthy, and then to parent ourselves into that worthiness. It is an inside out job. People can tell me, and they do, and I appreciate the compliments. You're beautiful. You're but if I don't know to my innermost toes that is true 80% of the time, it doesn't matter what people say to me. I have to do that work, and that's why we're here on Doctors in the House talking about forcing. And the good side of forcing is it's making you understand what's getting in the way of your own happiness. We're going to take a quick break for news and weather, and hopefully it's not going to be hot too much longer on Doctors in the House with myself and
Dr. Tiffany Tate.
We will be right back. Don't go away, as Chuck Woolery used to say. We'll be back in 2 and 2. What I say, peace in and peace out.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Keep balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. AM 1050, FM 106.5, home to the Asian Oprah, #1 talk in the IE. Thanks to you all. And streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, and of course my YouTube TV channel that houses all of my shows. You can also access for free my Happy Hour podcast that is from this show, the playlist, the Happy the Doctors in the House Special Wednesday series. We talk about a whole host of topics that you can be happier about. And I have a red carpet playlist where you can access my interviews with The Temptations, Backstage, Halle Berry, John Travolta, Quincy Jones, and more. And we're talking about forcing things. And I just love that we have people in the chat. Welcome to Dre Scott. And Vanessa, you put up a very an honest and vulnerable comment. And I want to address it. And Dr. Tiffany, you can also comment on this, because I am sorry that you feel that not worthy, even of God's love. And I will say to you right now, Vanessa, that I know that Dr. Tiffany and I will be holding the truth for you, which is that you are worthy. You are 180% worthy, whether you feel it or not. And we'll just hold that for you until you can feel it yourself. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is, and this is a little bit of tough love. And I'm only going to tell you this because it was told to me, because I was where you were, that everybody else deserved love. Everybody else could heal. Everybody else could get to that place of being able to love themselves, right? Or have the love of something greater than ourselves. I call mine my UPS man, universal power source. He delivers every morning when I meditate. That friendly universe. Dr. Tiffany calls him God, through Jesus Christ. It's a different, but it's the same. So that thing outside that loves you unconditionally. Now, I was told when I said that I didn't feel worthy and I was the only one that didn't have that, everybody else was possible. I was told that I was being, that's pride in reverse. Like, I'm so special that I'm not loved, right? When everybody else could be loved. So that's a little bit of tough love, because you are loved and you are unique, but not in that way. So you can be, if you can just shift that, I am, right, unique, and I am loved, loving, and lovable. And all I need to do is allow for that possibility, and then you will see how that is true. Because I don't think you are living at the bottom of the river. I don't think that you don't have things. I think that you have people around you who do love you, even if you can't feel that from them. So I'm going to put you on a 30-day diet right now, which is to have a bite of a gratitude sandwich every single morning. You can do it with me on the show. I'd love to see you every day. I'm here 5 days a week, and we start the show the same way. So if you don't want to do it with me on the show, I would suggest that you do it by yourself. Write it out. 8 things that you specifically are grateful for. You have food in the fridge, money in your wallet, and a roof over your head. And then before you go to bed, I want you to remember things compliments that you've got, even if you don't believe them. And in that process of the 30 days, you will feel a shift, and you will not believe that anymore. Dr. Tiffany?
And so, Vanessa, you know that you are a child of God, and you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and you are loved. And just know that angels are encamped all around you, and that no matter what, where you go, what you do, that God is with you, and that you are a child of God. And I love you. You are my sorority sister, and you have lots of sisters around you who love you, and that God loves you.
And we'll just hold that truth for you until you believe it yourself. And, I'm not saying that you should be happy all the time. So let's balance that one out too. People say to me all the time, "Why do you say 88% happy instead of 100% happy?" Well, nobody can be 100% happy because you'll be dead. You have to have the contrast. It's obviously right now, Vanessa, you are going through what I call that pupa stage. So caterpillars are it's a dark night of the soul. You don't feel it, but it's temporary. You're not always going to feel like that. So I think we've said enough on that one. I just want you to do that exercise. Dre is going to hold you to it as well. 30 days of gratefulness and answering our questions. Some tools to use to build self-esteem. We've already talked about several of them. Let's just start with that one. When you come back after 30 days of taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich and you want another tool, come back at me. However, you can always get them by contacting Dr. Tiffany, as well as if you join my Happy 88 tribe, you will automatically get an email back with alphabet soup. They're tools like IJM, it's just money. When you've lost a lot of money and you're really bummed about it, there's a little acronym that I use to get myself out of that. INTBOAD, it's not that big of a deal in the whole scheme of things. So you can get those free tools, Dre, by going to drmarissa.life. And you can also, you know what, Asian Oprah giveaway, the audiobook copy the book has tons of tools. So in thanking you, Dre, for coming on, I'm happy to give you an audiobook copy of that.
Mm-hmm. And back to our current topic, when you are in a relationship and you're forcing it, and if you want to know whether or not things aren't working out, it can manifest as emotional distance, lack of communication, feeling sexually disconnected from your partner, relationship problems, or feeling loneliness and issues with intimacy. So I thought that was interesting.
Absolutely. I'm going to forcing. Do we want to move to another kind of forcing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And when
you have more in that research bucket of yours.
Yes. When you're in business and you are trying to have relationship issues with your business partners, and you are trying to force issues with your business partners, a lot of times you have to communicate. And we talked about communication in previous episodes. So I think it's important to make sure you don't interrupt your business partners when they're speaking. And you want to, a lot of times, relax and let everything take its course and not necessarily push people too hard. And you want to make sure you're always respectful of your business partner, because you don't want to jeopardize that relationship or that friendship if you are friends, because you want to respect the relationship, or it can jeopardize the business.
Is there ever a time that the data shows that you're just not a match, both personally, professionally? That's always my question when I'm having feelings that I'm forcing something that's not working. Like when to hold and when to fold is one of the tools, Dre, that I use for this stuff. Is, is this the hill I want to die on? I ask that all the time when I'm feeling like I'm in the middle of a force.
Yes. So there are 8 signs a relationship is over. Here we go. 1, no emotional connection. This works for all situations. 2, communication breakdown. 3, aggressive or confrontational communication. 4, this is for personal relationships. There is no appeal to physical intimacy. 5, you no longer have trust in them. 6, if this is for relationship partners, you're fantasizing about others. And I'm not talking about stars. I'm talking about fantasizing about your ex or fantasizing about your neighbors or things like that, or gym people or something like that. 7, you're not supporting each other and have different goals. This is for either your partner or your business relationship. And 8, you can't imagine a future together. This can be for a relationship or your business situation. So if your goals no longer align, you can't see a future with this person in a relationship, or you can't see a future with this person in your business partnership, that's an issue. So those are the 8 signs that the relationship is probably over.
Great stuff. That answers the question: when to hold and when to fold. We're going to be right back. We have to take a quick break for traffic and sports on KCAA. We'll be back in 2 and 2. Chuck Woolery, peace, but me, peace in, peace out. Don't go away. We'll be right back. If you have more questions, it's been great in the cashew gallery. I hope you're good, Vanessa. I hope that wasn't too tough love. Glad that you're here. I expect to have a report out after your 30 days of gratitude. Don't go away. We'll be right back on Doctors in the House with Dr. Marissa and
Dr. Tiffany Tate.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And we're back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, home to the Asian Oprah, #1 talk in the IE. Thanks to you and the station that leaves no listener behind. Dr. Tiffany, why don't you talk about the new book that's coming out? And I'm going to go pull it up for all of our listeners and watchers to see. Okay. It's a new book that is available, and tell us about it.
Okay. Now, first I want to say, Vanessa, I'm going to call you when the show is over so we can talk. The book is called Money Matters, and it is a rhythmic book for children, and it teaches children about saving and investing. And it is an easy to read book, and it is a story about 3 brothers who are walking home, and they find $100 blowing in the wind, and they rush home to tell their mother about how they're going to spend it. And she sits them down, and she uses that as an opportunity to teach them about a better way to spend that money instead of spending it on candy.
There you go. And you can see it. Is that showing up? Yes, it is.
Yes. And it is
awesome. And you can get that at Barnes & Noble. You can get that on Amazon. So please do. It's a great subject for kids. It's really amazing that we don't teach it at school. Mm-hmm. I think the expectation is we teach it at home, just like safe sex and things like that. But a lot of the times, parents just do the best that you can, and they don't teach that stuff. So you can get that book now to help facilitate the learning with your kids. Thanks so much, Dr. Tiffany, for what you do in these in this arena.
Make it a little better, one book at a time.
All right, and we're talking about forcing as the topic today, and I'm going to take an opportunity to give you another tool, because we have Dre asking for tools, and this is actually a form that I teach in Balanced Tai Chi Gong. Do you want to do this with me, Dr. Tiffany?
Absolutely.
All right, you kind of have to stand up. I don't know if you're going to be able to sit up, but
yeah,
I'll stand up in front of you.
Oh, my chair's loud.
All right. So I teach Balanced Tai Chi Gong, which is a moving meditation that promotes inner peace, one breath at a time. So feet shoulder width apart, taking a deep breath in through the nose Releasing, soft shoulders, soft elbows, soft knees. Another deep breath in. Connecting the mind, releasing all the stories and the drama. And then third breath in, connecting the spirit and chi. For you and I, we're connected now by life force. I'm going to have you take your hands. You're going to bring in and then release in front of you in a wheel. It's called the Wheel of Life. Good. And as you're doing this, this is what life is, rolling along. We run over little petals and stones like a flat tire. We just keep moving. It's not the end of the world. Little things, little changes. But sometimes we'll hit something that is not easy to roll over or get past. So we have a tendency to try to force it. Okay, this is where the topic comes in. Forcing it to move. But it's not going to move. So in cases where you cannot force, at the bottom here, I want you to switch your hands so your palms are up. And you're going to breathe in all the way up. And then you're going to release the breath as you come close to your body. So when you feel like you're pushing and it's hurting, your head's, splitting wide open, blood's coming out because you keep hitting your head against something that doesn't want to move. The solution is to do this form called offering. Offering means offering up resistance. I'm letting it go. It's like Frozen. Let it go, let it go. And you just allow yourself. It's, your lover leaves you, you lose your job, you want to get it back, you want to get them back, it hurts. Just let it go. It's not the right time. It's not the right person. Doesn't that feel good just to let that go? Mm-hmm. And releasing now all 7 chakra centers. Taking your right hand. It's normally the fighting hand in Tai Chi. You're going to close the fighting hand to show you come in peace. You're going to hold the peace here. You're going to bring it down to heart chakra. You're going to do a little bow and say, xie, xie.
Xie, xie.
And that's S-H-E-A, not S-H-I-T. It means thank you or namaste in Mandarin for me. So we're acknowledging each other and sharing the energy. Xie, xie.
Xie, xie.
And release. Beautiful. So there's a tool for you. I don't think you've ever done Tai Chi with me, huh? There you go. I have that as a download in my at drmarissa.life. It's a 28-minute moving meditation that promotes inner peace, one breath at a time. And happy that you got to experience that. But that's an actual physical. Some people learn better through movement, NLP, instead of talk. So it's a way to integrate the ideas of letting go. Because if you're forcing something, you are not happy. So letting go, it's happy making. That's my final word. How you doing? Final word.
I would say my final word is to, before you try to force or impose your will onto someone else, make sure you take time to love yourself. Because if you can't love yourself, how can someone else love you? Be it in a relationship, be it your children, be it a friendship, or in business. Because self-respect is a reflection of respecting others and having others respect you.
Absolutely. I did a final word already, but your words made me think of something that I love to use as a tool, the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, offer up resistance, the courage to change the things I can. When do I need to speak up? When do I need to say, ow, that hurt? And then the wisdom to know the difference. When to hold, when to fold. Is this the hill you want to die on? As usual, that went fast. It's always wonderful having a show. Great topic. And I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. This is Dr. Marissa and
Dr. Tiffany Tate.
We're here every weekday, Wednesday morning for your listening and claiming your birthright to happiness pleasure. It's all about balance. You want to say it?
Peace in, peace out.
World peace through
inner peace.
Yeah. Now go and have
the best day
ever. I'll see you tomorrow with Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa and James Hawthorne. We'll be talking about more details of dating and how to be happy while you're dating. Thanks for joining us.
Take back your life with Dr.